Hey, it's Dave.
Kenny.
Pat.
Jackie.
And we're missing Barry today.
Mouth of the South.
Mouth from the South. Our boy is homesick. He's not feeling well. So we're going to have to do the show without him. We'll muddle through, but somehow, some way,
we can make it.
We'll make it.
We'll get her done.
Welcome everyone to Hooked on Headwaters. This is our weekly fishing and lake report and show. And we're going to kick things off right away by turning it over to Kenny for his fishing report.
All right, this week was another great week. Pat and I both were on the water and we all caught lots of fish. The main deal, chatterbaits again, fished in the grass. The Chat Assassin on the back of a chatterbait, still a killer deal. Buzzbaits were really good for the first half of the week. The last 2 days it kind of slowed down a little bit. Yeah. The poppin' shad came back. So when they wouldn't hit the buzzbait, started throwing the poppin' shad, figure out, what was happening there. You could see them chasing the bait, but they would come up and blow up on the buzzbait, so it moved too fast.
Right.
So we went and started throwing the poppin' shad again, fished a little slower, and we started catching a ton of fish on that, and better size fish too. So the worm bite was still there, Cincos, speed worms. My favorite bait of the week though was definitely the poppin' shad for the size of
Barry's favorite.
Barry's favorite. Shout out to Barry, poppin' shad buddy.
We'll send you a few.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to think. I was on Headwaters all week. South Pit was kind of dead. There was a 7-pounder caught right across from us, but the biggest one we got out of the pit was like 6 pounds this week. South Pit. North Pit started producing better. Lots of boats up there. I did a lot of running this week. I fished east of the 45 quite a bit, and the top water down there was a lot better. So we threw poppin' shads. I caught some on Spook down there. And
What you call a spook?
Actually, I threw a Sammy, which is like a spook, and it's a gold shiner color.
Yep.
And it's got 3 treble hooks. It's the big one. I don't throw the smaller one. And the gunfish was on fire again.
We had several comments regarding the gunfish. So can you tell them again what
gunfish is? Lucky Craft makes the gunfish. My favorite size is the 115. So it's 115 millimeters. They do make a 95, which next month or in October, last October was great. The 115 is a bigger one. So if you're targeting bigger fish, throw the 115. They both walk about the same. They both spit water. The 117 is good bait. It's a little tougher to walk when it's windy, but if it's calm, it's easy to walk. But they're all walking bait. So
and I refer to them as the pencil poppin' shad.
Right. Yeah, it's got like a little cup mouth on it. So it walks and kind of spits water as it goes. And if you throw your line back to it as you're walking it, it will almost stay in place. So you just reel it really slow, and you can walk that bait almost and not move it. You inch it along basically, and it drives the fish crazy.
They're great. It's a great saltwater bait as well. Pencil poppers have been used for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it is in the shop, so you need to pick some up. Come on in, pick them up from Pat and Jackie.
Yeah, the weird thing was Sunday we were out, they were hitting the gold bladed buzzbait. We threw it Monday, couldn't get them to touch it. So I had my client throw the black one, and we caught, let's see, about 20 or 25 fish, and none of them were under 3 pounds. They were like 3 to 6 pounds. Just real good quality fish. They were pretty. They had good color to them. The North Lake was cleared up. Now it looks like pea soup today. It's just, I'd heard yesterday there was a couple people up there saying it was clear, so we went up there and checked it out. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was shocked. It was because we've had north winds for what, a week and a half. Should be clear. And it looked like pea soup, so we got out of there and went down where I've been fishing scattered hydrilla. Just east of the 45, there's all kinds of fish down there. They're chasing bait all over the place.
A lot of bait.
You just go down the 45, make a left, and start fishing, and you'll catch fish. Throw a Cinco, throw the pop and shad, slower moving baits. And last week we were burning the buzzbait. This week they wouldn't touch like that. So might be transitioning a little bit with all these north winds.
Right.
It was cooler. The water's down to 80 degrees.
Yep, I noticed that. Best weather we've had in quite some time.
It's
It's not
getting
as
nice.
oppressive.
Right.
And
Not-
actually, the
no
mornings
humidity.
are low humidity. The mornings are relatively cool, and it warms up a bit. But man, from what we've experienced here, take this any day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the water's cooling down.
Yeah.
Kenny said, what'd you say, 78 you seen it at?
Yeah, it did. When we were in the South Lake, we were in 80-degree water, and it hit 79 a couple times. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, I haven't seen 70s since
Yeah.
April.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's a good sign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
So it's
Might have an early spawn.
yeah, exactly. Well, I caught that fish a month ago and it had a red tail, blood dripping off of it. I was like, what in the world? That's really early.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
But the water, when it gets down in the mid 70s, that's when it's going to be
Right.
top water all day long.
Yep.
They've been biting buzzbaits all day long. And then yesterday and today, it's kind of like we got blow-ups on it yesterday, but they weren't eating it.
Yeah.
Then today, they wouldn't even touch it. And I threw black. I threw black with a gold blade. I threw a shiner with the gold blade on it. I threw a white one with the silver blade. Not one single hit. Just weird how they shut off
it's
one
shut.
bait. And it wasn't just in one location. We fished throughout the whole lake with them.
Yeah.
Wouldn't touch it. I put something else on it, they blow it up.
Yeah, I feel like the bite's been weird all week long. You know, when we had when Buzzy and I went out the other day, we fished hard from, shoot, it was dark 30 till noon. I think we had 5 fish in the boat.
Yeah.
That's all we had.
Yeah.
And we fished some really good areas, and didn't see any fish moving around, nothing chasing bait. I mean, they were inactive. They just weren't feeding. And so, of course, we stayed at it. We kept fishing hard. We never gave up. And then about noon, a little after noon time, is when they started feeding. And that was the heat of the day. And at that point, we just, I mean, we killed them. I mean, I don't know, we caught well over 25.
Nice.
A couple real good ones, a couple 5s and 6s. And so, it was just a strange couple of days.
So certainly conditions change from day to day, and you got to adapt. What is it because the transition, the fall transition?
I mean, the water was, you're
it is
talking
changing.
high 80s to
80.
80.
Yeah. So,
And I don't know. There was a small front that pushed through.
yeah.
I highly doubt that made a difference, but who knows? Could have.
I went out with Pat, and I used a swim jig, hooked them up, went out a few days later, not one bite. I switched over to a new shad from Gambler, a swim bait. Man, rolled it up, boom, something nice. I'll say almost top. It felt like a top water bite, but that worked that day. Just a few days later. So
Yeah.
the challenge is going to be finding the bait for that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just keep
Yeah.
changing up. Pat and I went to Stick Marsh when was that? Was that
That
last
was
Friday?
Friday. Yep.
It was after the show.
It was after the show.
Yeah, so we did some filming out on the lake at Stick Marsh last Friday. I forgot we went there. And we just kind of chased bait around because they were blowing up everywhere
Man.
over there. The water's
Never seen
crystal
anything like
clear.
it.
It's so clear, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Water
The whole
was
entire lake. Dave and I investigated because we fished the south end.
Yeah.
Dave and I went on a little journey just to check everything, and
Yeah.
we covered the whole lake. The whole lake
Lake.
is beautiful.
You did a lot
amazing.
of
The
fishing.
water's gorgeous.
Last week you did a lot of fishing.
Yeah, we
Sorry,
did.
honey.
What, you caught them on a rattle trap over there?
That's the floating office.
That's the floating office. Yeah.
That's the
Listen,
floating
Dave.
office.
Yeah.
Floating
Rattle
office
trap.
time.
Listen.
It's floating office time. You gotta
Dave,
do it.
Dave.
Got to.
I got that big one on
not
Sammy.
throw logs. Do not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you caught several on that damn thing.
Yeah, the Sammy was the deal at Stick Marsh too.
Yeah.
And the bait, and it was like, what, 1:30 when I caught that big one?
Yeah. Yeah, we were getting ready to leave.
Yeah, we were getting ready to pack it up.
That's when you threw that curveball. I don't know, was that on video?
Yeah, yeah.
Man, y'all got to see this damn thing. I asked him if he was a pitcher in baseball, and it turns out he is a pitcher.
Yep.
You can throw a curveball, and he can cast a curveball. The island down at the south end of the lake by the spillway,
Gate, yeah.
how it comes to a point, the southern point of it. We were north of the point on the east side. This guy takes the dadgum thing, throws that Sammy. It went beyond the point, swooped around, and ended up on the west side of it. Twitch, 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 and now he's walking it around the point of it. And he got an 8-pounder,
Hey.
naturally.
Is that the one you
Nice,
showed
nice,
me
nice.
earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
The
The wind
English
was
on.
blowing, so I took like a short cast to see how much it was affecting my line,
Right.
and then it just looked fishy over there. There was
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a good
the
spot.
water was calm on that side.
yeah, there was water coming around there from the wind, and it was calm over there. I was like,
Is there a
"Man, that
shoal
looks-"
there?
There is.
There, right?
There's a shoal that goes
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
And there's some hydrilla right on the edge there.
Yeah.
So I made a short cast, and I saw the wind was blowing my line 10, 15 feet. So I just threw kind of 10 feet over the corner and let the wind blow my line around so it wasn't up in the tree.
Yep.
So my bait was on the other side, my line was around the island, and then I could walk it around the point, and I just got maybe 4 feet probably from where I cast, and it blew up on it. But it looked like a fishy spot, you know?
Right,
I was eyeballing it. We were there for probably 10 minutes, and I was like, man, here, it looks like a good spot for a big one.
That's will that video be on this?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. Yeah.
Yes. So that'll be on
Y'all
this,
gotta check that out.
on part of this episode.
Yeah.
So as a matter of fact, we will show that right now.
Rob doesn't fish that often either. Oh, yes! That's a beast, Kenny. It looked like a big one when it hit. Is that big swim bait? Feels like a big one, huh, Kenny?
Not too big.
Oh, nice! You got the GoPro on?
Yeah.
All right. Woo, son. God damn, son. I'm sorry, dude. I don't know why I'm sitting there. I didn't know it was that big. Well, you can't leave anywhere without getting a fucking hog, can you? Damn. Son of a bitch. You can't go anywhere without getting a hog. Man.
Little topwater action out here on Stick Marsh with Pat today. Got a nice little toad here.
Yeah.
We'll see what she weighs. 7.5.
Nice.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. Yeah, hey, if she had a belly on her, she'd be.
Yeah, she's just not
8.5.
fat. She's long.
She's skinny.
Me and Pat out here today catching some toads.
Man can't leave without getting a monster every friggin' time we go fishing.
This one came on a Sammy today. They're chasing bait fish all over the place here at Stick Marsh, so we're just out chasing bait and throwing baits and popping big fish.
Yeah, yeah. That's
But this is a good one.
She's nice.
Get out here and hit me up sometime, and I'll take you out on a guide trip, and we'll catch some monsters like this.
Hey.
But yeah, that fish, it fought hard. I mean, it was a pretty good fight.
Yeah,
It was enjoyable. And then I love hearing Pat on there talking. It's great.
Never seen
Hey.
a one-legged
Awesome.
man move so
He was
fast.
so
Hey.
pumped.
One-legged fat guy got up there quick and got that damn net.
That's two times you've done that.
Yeah. I was kind of stunned for a minute. I'm like, man, it didn't look as big as it was until you got it close to the boat. The lure was out a mile around the other side of the island. Can't get a good look at it. When he finally got it close to the boat, whoa, I better get the net.
Came up a couple
Kenny
times.
says,
It was nice.
that might not be a bad idea.
So,
Good.
Pat, what else have you heard from the other lakes?
You know, the guys are catching them on Garcia. We're going to fish a tournament. George and I are going to fish together on Sunday, the tournament on Garcia. It's just a little tournament. I think we have the exemptions. Jay pulls the exemptions. And so it's a pretty organized little deal. Just a bunch of us boys around here, and anybody wants to fish it, come on out Sunday morning. We get started, daybreak, and we weigh in at 1 o'clock, so we don't miss too much football.
Yeah. These are open tournaments.
It's an
so
open
if you're in the
tournament.
area, hey, why not?
You can fish
It's a
it by
beautiful
yourself.
lake.
You can fish it with a team. Whatever.
Right.
It's a lot of fun. I think we put 35 or 40 bucks or something in the hat, and then they distribute it according to the amount of boats that fish it. But it's a lot of fun. Gives us something to do. But the fishing has been really good on Garcia. I mean, the guys have really been catching them quite well. I got a couple of new areas that I heard about that I'm going to go check up on the north end of the lake, northwest corner. So we're going to go check that out, and we'll get our flipping sticks out. Go flip some thick cover.
Okay.
It's supposed to be so far it's supposed to be a real sunny day, and them bluebird skies with that sun being out, it's flipping time.
Yep.
And so I haven't heard much about Blue Cypress. A couple of the guys that were in earlier are staying. The guys from Virginia are staying at Blue Cypress. I didn't get a fishing report.
Kenansville's open.
Kenansville's open. I guess they did a lot of spraying. Some dead vegetation out there, but it's wide open. It's fishable. But Headwaters is the deal. I mean, Headwaters is the deal. We've been getting them. We caught a lot of it. No morning bite the other morning, but we caught a lot of them throughout the day.
It's punching time.
Yeah.
Punching time. It's punching time.
As far as a quick kayak report, my buddy Paul, this is last week, I think, he kayaked Garcia, so he went up that west bank and then fished off to the right, and he nailed a couple of nights. He sent me some pictures. I'll show those to you. So if you're looking to kayak, it's really shallow along that west bank. If you boat it, you gotta gun it right from the rim.
Yeah.
But, for kayak, it's easy to get through. It'll be, if you pedal, it'll be a combination of pedaling and paddling because of the tall grass. But some decent fish were caught in that area, and it's not that far from the boat ramp.
Staying out.
Anything new at the shop?
The tournament, we're really excited about that. We have the championship coming up in a couple weeks.
Yep.
All 15 teams have confirmed that they're fishing. Very important that you actually show up, because otherwise, somebody's going to lose out. Like, boats 16, 17, or 18 could have been in.
Yeah.
But everybody has confirmed. It's going to be a real good deal. We're not mentioning where we're going to fish yet. It's within the area, one of the lakes in the area.
Within a 17-mile radius of the shop.
Yeah. Yeah. And but it's going to be a big to-do. It's going to be a lot of fun. We even have a lot of people that aren't fishing that have come in and want to know the date, and they're going to come out, and we'll have festivities here back at the shop. Yeah. We're doing a big barbecue, and
with that said,
with that being said,
we encourage you and invite your family and friends to come out to the shop. It's going to be a really festive atmosphere here. Again, the barbecue, there'll be food for everyone, refreshments, and the raffle.
Raffle's going to be big.
It's still some great.
It's going to be a great raffle.
That we'll be raffling, so be sure make it a day. It's Sunday afternoon, so after church, come on down.
Bring the dog.
Bring the kids. Bring the dog.
Yep. Be ready to eat.
It's going to be fun.
Be ready to eat. Yep.
It's going to be fun.
For sure.
And so, I wanted to talk about a couple of the baits.
Before we do that, just want to give a quick shout out to the Davis House Inn.
Yeah.
This is a place that we recommend if you're staying in this area. It's located in Sebastian, right on the Indian River. A beautiful place near, within walking distance to a lot of the restaurants, the waterfront restaurants. Really nice rooms, and they are able to accommodate you and your boat. So there are electrical hookups, there's hoses to wash down your boat. So if you're in the area, again, the Davis House Inn, there is a discount if you mention Book on Headwaters.
And they are pet friendly.
And they are pet friendly. Thank you, Miss Jackie.
That's bad.
Excellent restaurants within walking distance.
Yeah.
You don't have to drive anywhere. You walk right, the Squid Lips, Captain Butcher's, Captain Hiram's, it's all right there. Matter of fact, I think he has bicycles. He keeps bicycles there too. If you want to use a bike there.
Yeah, it is a great area to
Matter of
bike
fact,
up and down.
he has kayaks as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause you're right on the river.
Yeah.
And
Maybe you need a kayak, guys.
Right there.
Right here, right here.
yeah, you didn't get the insurance.
Dave is your man.
Jackie, anything new at the shop?
Well, we have the Weekend Warriors fishing shirts. Kenny, can you hand me one of those, please? Or one blue and one white one. One white one.
Sorry, brother. You good?
You hold them up. They'll be able to see.
These are the tournament.
Tournament shirts.
Yep. Really cool.
And it's not just this tournament, and we're gonna keep going with these tournaments, and
Yes.
we're gonna continue to call them Weekend Warrior tournaments.
Yep.
So this isn't just for, you know, a one-time thing. You can
Right.
have these for, you know, however long.
And they're comfortable. Good fishing performance shirts.
Yeah.
Feel
How
good.
is-
Just on the hole.
Go ahead, Miss Jackie. Ignore him.
I can't. His voice is louder than mine. So, yes, they're nice shirts.
Trying to
They're
help.
very comfortable. And, yeah, come and get them. They're
Yep.
nice shirts. I really like them. $34.99?
Yes.
$34.99.
Okay.
Good.
And if we don't have your size, let us know.
We'll get 'em
Get
for
you one.
Right. Military discount.
There you go. The Hooked on Headwaters shirts are also available here. So if you'd like to pick one up, come on in. So we are going to go to the maps. And Capt Kenny's gonna show you how to get around and where to go and where not to go.
Yep,
So
exactly.
let's go to the maps.
Hey guys, and gals. The deal on Headwaters this week, of course, the pits are still pretty good. The south pit's not as good as the north pit. Lots of pressure over there here lately since I've been talking about it. I was there Saturday and I think there was 5 boats in the south pit and all I heard was buzz baits. So these fish might be getting a little conditioned to that. So change up your presentation a little bit, different topwater baits, walking baits and things. Like I said earlier, the east side of the 45 is fantastic right now. You can just go through there and either punch, throw worms, topwater baits, popping shads, things like that. There's a lot of bait in here beside the canal on the 45. You can wreck them. These deeper water areas all are holding all kinds of bait fish right now. So you want to fish along the edge of the hydrilla. I highly recommend if you're struggling and you know how to punch, now's the time to punch. You can always catch fish punching because you're putting it in their home, jig it a couple of times and then move over a couple feet and just cover water while you're punching and you're going to get bit. We've had a lot of northeast winds and the north was clear for a couple of days and now it looks like today it looked like pea soup, but I'm going to go up there and check it out again because I know there's a lot of fish up in that area that are big, and we're all hunting big fish right now. So fish deep, fish the 7 to 12 foot range, and the hydrilla lines. Look for any hyacinths mixed in with hydrilla and punch those areas, or just punch the hydrilla mats. Didn't go down to Egan this week, but I heard the fishing is decent down there in the mornings on topwater. So I would, you know, any of these little canals and things down in this area, I'd fish around those first thing in the morning or out on these flats and throw topwater baits. If I'm going to do anything over here, this maze, the Cypress maze, the south part of the Cypress maze, where you got 12 feet of water, later in the day, I'd throw a worm in there a little bit, maybe, and drag it around. There should be some fish in there because there's been a ton of bait running in these canals. When I've been traveling through there, I've seen a lot of bait movement. So just look for bait, slow your presentation down if you're not getting bit, and punch if you know how to do that, and you'll catch a lot of fish. Good luck.
Hello everyone, and this is for our kayakers. I mentioned earlier my buddy Paul, kayak Lake Garcia, so I just want to show you on the map where he went. So Garcia Lake, the ramp is here in this ramp. So it's an easy launch for a kayaker. You just got to back up your truck and dump your kayak. That's what I like. I'm looking for easy launches. My days of hauling my kayak hundreds of feet or over. So looking for that easy launch. So if you're like me, this is a good place to come fish. He fished up, he traveled up the west bank here and then turned north and fished this area here. So it's a lot of good fishing in here, a lot of lily pads, a lot of grass now. It's going to be a combination. I have a pedal kayak, so it's going to be a combination of paddling and pedaling, but you can get into nice fish in here. And again, relatively close to the ramp, so you're not killing yourself. If you got the legs or the stamina, you could work your way down over to the center here, but that's going to be again a good combination of pedaling and paddling because of the high grass during this time. So enjoy it. Let me know if you get out there. Give us a good report. Thanks. Bye. Okay, we are back, and now we're going to do a bait of the week, and over to Kenny.
All right, guys. Here's what you need to throw this week coming up. Make it real simple.
There you go.
This is called hematoma shad, and if you see that, it is black and like a purple color or blue. And I'm telling you what, they make this in an RSB worm as well. It's by Bass Assassin. This is the fat dog. The RSB is just as effective. I mean, the good thing about these things, they don't tear up. Not knocking Cincos, but you catch 1 or 2 fish and they're done. These here, 6, 8 fish.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and when you set the hook, it doesn't rip them.
That's not your typical Cinco. I
Right.
that.
Yeah. Your typical Cinco, just you catch 1 or 2 fish and
Yeah.
it's done. Or you're biting it off and making it shorter and shorter and shorter. And I like throwing big baits, but I like catching big fish.
Yeah,
so.
and that's not a sales pitch. That's,
No, I
that's
mean-
the truth. I'm telling you, man.
That works.
Will you let the man talk?
Yeah, he's good. And then Pat's got tons of spinner baits. And if you're not throwing a spinner bait, let me put it this way. If you're not catching fish on the jackhammer chatterbaits, pick up a spinner bait because you can fish it slower through the grass and it's weedless. I mean, it just makes perfect sense. I mean, if you're burning a chatterbait through there and they're not touching it, pick up a spinner bait.
Yeah.
These Lure Concepts guys here, they're local. Man, that is one good looking bait right here. Let me show you.
Got a good feel.
That's the color too.
Yeah.
That looks like a bluegill, and that's what they're eating. I was down in the South Pit last week, and I think I told you guys on the show last week.
What do we charge?
They were coming up blowing bait up, and I saw a dead fish laying there, and I went over and picked it up, and it was a little tiny bluegill about that big. And it was all these colors on that thing. So if you're not getting them on a chatterbait, pick up a spinner bait, and that might be the deal, because you can fish it a lot slower.
Yeah. And a bluegill.
Yeah,
Color.
Yeah, bluegill color.
Yep.
We got you. Back.
I'm taking Kenny's advice. He mentioned spinnerbaits last week. I listened to the man. He meant this, and this is actually the spinnerbait I was throwing. That's why I had it up here. He mentioned spinnerbaits last week, and that bailed me out that day I was talking about. That it was a real slow bite. That's when I found the fish, is when I was using this that spinnerbait, and that's in the middle of the day. And so, combination of that, flipping some thick cover afterwards. We were getting them.
Yep.
I got a 5 and a 6, and a couple 2s, flipping some thick cover, and then it was this, and everybody knows about these anyway. I think it was a few months ago. This was the big deal, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
guys,
Gold pepper shiner.
I'm telling you, that's the deal.
it is.
That is the deal.
Which bait?
Either that or in the Houdini color too.
Or the Houdini, either one.
Can't go wrong.
I can't get away from this gold pepper shiner, man. This thing is 5-aught hook, no weight. And you talk about fishing that suspended hydrilla, them hydrilla beds. That's the deal. That's the deal. Buzzy was with me. He'll attest to it. We don't make this stuff up.
And if you're
That was
having
the deal.
a problem, they're heavy enough you can cast them without a weight.
Yeah.
But if you want to add a little bit of weight, go with a bigger hook. A 6 or like a 7-aught hook.
Yeah.
One of the heavy hooks. And that'll give you just a little bit more weight.
Right.
And it also helps drag the bait down a little quicker. And makes the tail really shimmy. When that thing falls, it'll twist.
Yeah, and it's kind of versatile because you can, depending on how the fish are reacting to it. And so I started off throwing it with just a little real slow, working real slow, just a twitch and let it fall. twitch, let it fall. They were not responding to that. When I threw it out there and I let it sink at first, because it'll sink on its own, and it was a twitch, 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 fall. Twitch, 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 fall.
Yep.
It drove them nuts. It drove, and you can actually, the water's so clean down there. And I was fishing just north of that pump house on the east side, and that flat that's out there with all the isolated hydrilla beds. You can watch the action. The water's clean enough, and it makes me want to jump in.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts.
It does, yeah.
It's
great action.
yeah, it really is cool.
Now, with the water being so clear, would you suggest a leader?
No,
Okay. I don't throw
I'm
leaders.
straight braid.
I'm straight. I go
the
mono
grass.
or braid.
Yeah.
All you're doing is giving them another place to break you off
Yeah.
when you tie a leader on.
Okay.
They don't pay attention to it. If you're afraid that they're seeing your line, all you gotta do is get a marker out and color it black for 3
Yeah.
feet. And
Yeah. Okay.
But I personally, I throw Seagar's Smackdown line, and it starts off gray, and then after it sits on the deck of the boat for a week, it turns white basically. So a lot of my line is white, and I know they can probably see it.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't seem to affect
Okay.
anything. They're still
Okay.
biting it. So.
There you go.
But if I was afraid of that, I would just take a marker and color it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, because that answers the question for a gentleman that called today about line.
Right.
Braid mono versus fluoro, and he was asking about what you typically like to use, and I told him that you're pretty much 99.9% straight braid right to the bait, and I agree. I still use mono. I still like mono. My crankbaits, my topwater baits, but anytime I fish any cover, it's guaranteed to be braid.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm fishing those giant swim baits, I'll throw mono because it has a little stretch.
Right.
Right. More
And
forgiving.
Yeah, I was throwing the Buka bull shad and swimming it real fast on top of the water like a buzz bait, and I had 2 massive, big giant fish try to eat that thing. And when I set the hook with the braid, I think where it didn't have any stretch, I was actually
Yeah,
pulling the
pulling it
fish
out,
because
right.
it's immediately, there's no stretch.
Right.
So when I set the hook, I was pulling that bait away from the fish so fast I didn't get the hook in him.
Yeah.
So I think if I had mono, it would have delayed that a little bit and he would have got the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I talked to Mike Buka, he told me to throw mono, and I think that's part of the reason, because that little bit of stretch
Makes
there,
sense.
Yeah. Maybe
Let them-
might be milliseconds, but
Right.
it makes a difference.
Exactly. I saw the fish come up behind it, and he was going to eat it, and he
Yeah.
smoked it. And I set the hook immediately and just ripped it right out of his mouth. I was like, daggone.
Yeah. We're gonna have put out a video explaining the different lines, the braid, the copolymers, the fluorocarbon, and the mono.
The
So I'll be
copolymer is
coming
good
up.
stuff.
Yeah. So we'll be covering that in a few weeks.
I'm excited about Kenny's Kenny's new lure. Well, no, he already ordered the son of a gun. Didn't take him but 2 seconds. We noticed that there's a lot of needlefish
Oh yeah.
in the lakes around here.
Yeah.
You know, they're coming from the Indian River, or coming up C-54, and so, but they're all over. Headwaters is infested with them.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen them all over Forks Marsh, and so that's the only bait. When I was telling y'all earlier that morning, we didn't find any fish chasing bait. When I finally seen fish surfacing, I didn't know what they were chasing because I wasn't marking any bait. These needlefish are literally on the surface of the water.
Yeah.
You're not picking them up.
No.
And so, when I realized that a fish had, it must have been a good 6-7 pounder, Kenny. Guy comes straight up, smashed the I was looking at the time in that area, thank goodness. And so I seen the needlefish go flying off this way. He missed them. The needlefish went flying, but it was a needlefish. So
How big?
Kenny done went ahead and ordered himself a
I had
new,
one sent to my
new needlefish.
Amazon delivered it today. I had to get one because I saw the same thing at Kenansville.
But you made sense when you said those big speed worms without
Yeah.
a weight
On
would
top.
make
Weightless.
Maybe that's why the gunfish little.
gunfish could be
It could,
long and
I
narrow.
think.
This is pretty unique to this area. So needlefish are they're saltwater fish
Yeah.
that made their way into, because of the canals,
Bass love them.
that made their way into our lakes. So,
Yep.
So my first experience, well, not first experience with needlefish, but my experience at Kenansville with that needlefish, I told you that big bass this bass was 8, 9 pounds, chased this needlefish all over in front of my boat for 10, 20 seconds till he finally got it. And that thing was trying to skip and get off. He was going across the hydrilla, and that bass was just right after him. And then finally it was just a big boom. And I was like, oh, we got him.
He ended up getting
But he was dead set on getting that needlefish. And I was like, the perfect imitation for that is a RSB worm or a burner worm of any type, weightless, and just fish it right on the hydrilla, and kind of quick. Because they're quick.
They're quick.
They're quick.
Right.
That's how they swim.
And I think that's a good imitation because it's long and skinny. It's about 7 inches long, and that's about the size bait that they're
I
in.
would say a light color.
Yeah,
Right.
I like the
Needlefish.
anything with like a bit of gold in it, or not gold, green, like that.
Yeah.
Ember,
Needlefish look.
That ember,
Kind of like a,
emberish green color.
yeah, exactly.
Their needlefish are lighter colored fish though.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
kind of almost like a blue.
Right.
But in these lakes, if you look at them,
They'll change color due to the water.
yeah, they're kind of like a silvery
Yeah.
green. They almost have a green tint to them in the water. So like a blue June bug is actually bug. It might be why June bug works really good, is because it's got that green
Could
emerald
very well be.
flake in it.
Yeah.
And that could be,
Well, I'll be anxious to find out how you make out with that damn thing that you ordered.
I'm throwing
It's
some more
cool
at
look.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll let y'all know next week. It's gonna be interesting. And you know Kenny's gonna throw the out of it.
Oh yeah.
You guys do the same. So if you fish some sort of needlefish imitation, let us know how you make out. Let us know what you use.
I ordered the Savage Gear one, and it looks identical. And I looked at videos online, and the way that thing, it's got a pulse tail, and it swims really just like a needlefish.
Yeah.
Bad
And I was like,
Interesting.
it showed a barracuda eating it, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that sucker.
Okay, well, that brings us to the end of our video. We want to thank everyone for watching and want to ask you to please, if you haven't done it already, subscribe. That really helps us, supports the channel, keeps us going, helps us bring us more content. Barry mentioned last week we are planning to do other types of videos. For example, the different fishing lines video. We got a couple other things planned. We got several things planned with the boat. Speaking of the boat, if you're interested in doing a little bow fishing, give Barry and I a call, a shout. You can reach me at Dave at Hooked On Headwaters or Barry at hookedonheadwaters.com.
Oh yeah.
And that's it.
And if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. Like.
Yes. Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
All right, everyone.
Bye guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you, everyone. Barry.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Get better,
Barry, we miss you, boy.
We miss you,
Bye. God bless.